Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today I'm joined by Kelly De Gannes from the Wellspring Center. The Wellspring Center dynamic theme-based programs ensure that all their members are engaged regardless of ability level. Each day, their members learn and develop a number of skills, journey with friends, and make memories together. They understand that independent living is a life goal of their members and their loved ones. Therefore, several of their programs are designed to promote independence in many areas of life. These include cooking, hygiene, TTC travel and safety, grocery shopping, budgeting, and internet safety. Their community partners help their members facilitate job training, find volunteer opportunities, job placements, and housing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kelly.
My pleasure.
So tell us a little more about you and what inspired you to work at the Wellspring Center and why work with individuals with disabilities?
So it's actually an interesting story. I was actually a year ago, or just a little over a year ago, I was in a program for community work and social work, and I was finishing up my first year and just needed something to do during the summer. So I came upon the Wellspring Center, and after spending some time during that interview, I got to actually interact with some of the members and the director at the time. And I don't know, I absolutely loved the atmosphere. They were welcoming. Um, and I liked seeing the kind of the dynamic that they had within the space, all of the members interacting with each other and socializing and just having a great time. And it was just a warm feeling. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me just kind of. I don't mind spending my summer here, the next 2 months here. And then, long story short, everything happened really quickly, and within a couple months, um, we had to do some moving around of staff. And so the director at the time, she had to step away for a few months, and I kind of took over, and I became one of the directors, and I've just stayed on ever since.
That's amazing. I can totally hear the passion in your voice. That is so amazing.
Hmm.
So while doing some of my research, I saw that you have a couple of programs and features that you have to offer. Can you tell us a little more about those programs and features?
So I will say that we are community driven. So a lot of the programming that I kind of created now, or we've kind of developed now, is community centered, meaning we spend a lot of time interacting with our community partners, and that sort of thing. However, we are in the process of changing our structure. So right now we have 4 phases. So we have phase one, where we have members who are more nonverbal, learning how to socialize, learning how to communicate with each other, and whether that's through tablets, through sign language, or again communicating verbally. And then we have our phase two members who are learning their how to write, and how to kind of write their names and letters and colors and that sort, like basic learning kind of thing. And then we have phase three members who are working on their math, multiplication, decimals, learning how to count money, do transactions. And then we have phase four members who are ready to kind of job train. So on Tuesdays, for instance, I take a few of them over to the food bank up the street from us in the neighborhood, and they help unload the trucks, and they help stock the shelves. And then once the community comes in to pick up their food, they help serve them. And it's just a great way for them to not only be involved in terms of serving, but being able to communicate with people within the community and that sort of thing. And they love it. They absolutely love it. So that's just kind of our structure. But aside from that, like I said, our biggest thing too is building the community within the center. So again, getting them to socialize and interact with each other. We also, for instance, on Tuesday afternoon, we get together as groups. I mean, as a one big group, and we do skill building or life skills. So the other day, for instance, we were learning how to like respect personal boundaries and personal space and advocating for themselves when somebody's um, kind of threatening that space. So, saying things like no, or I don't like that, please move back, please give me some room, kind of thing. Just advocating for themselves. Um, yeah. And Wednesdays are one of our favorite days. We spend the entire day doing science. So they break off into groups with some of the staff. And for instance, last week our theme was anatomy. So they would pick different parts of the body, but not only will they explain what they learned and fun facts and important information about those functions or that body part, but they also build like models of the that particular topic, and they will then present it to the rest of the group. So they absolutely love that. And on Fridays, like today, we have Fun Friday. So not only do we go grocery shopping in the morning, where I teach them how to kind of navigate the grocery expiry dates, transactions at the cashier, reading the aisles, knowing where to pick up certain items. They also get to write their grocery list, and then when we come back, we do cooking, and we spend the day playing. So we pick random games out of a cup, and it's chaotic in an amazing way. It's exciting. We have a lot of fun just kind of closing out the week. They work really hard during the week, and so Fridays we have deemed that Fun Fridays, and we spend the day cooking and having a great time and playing games and that sort of thing. And then Thursdays we go over to the library across the street.
Oh, wow. So are your programs primarily residential, or are they sort of in person where participants can come and go?
They come and go. So we run Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 o'clock, and we run throughout the summer and March break and all that too. We also have camps during those breaks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we spend, again, like even during the regular season, in addition to the camps, we always spend a lot of time doing high activity things. So we go out. Like the last trip we did was indoor skydiving. We took them indoor skydiving,
Oh,
and yeah,
oh, wow.
they loved it. They loved it. So
I'm even scared to try that.
and no, they were beaming for the rest of the day. They absolutely. I have never seen them look so happy. And again, they were able to break barriers. A lot of people would assume that because they are neurodivergent or special needs, that there's barriers, that there's things that they can't do. But we focus on their abilities and not their disability.
That's exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
So are there any restrictions to the services at the Wellspring Center, such as age or disability type, caregivers, or family members only, things of that nature?
No. So our age range is adults 18 plus. So once they, even if they're still in high school, because for them, they graduate at the age of 21, they have the opportunity to come and do our summer camps and March breaks. They can even come on PA days. So we are we're geared towards ages 18 plus. In terms of ability, no. I would say as long as they're physically able. But even then, we've accommodated people who weren't 100% like had physical capabilities 100%. Just as long as right now we are working on transforming our space to make it more accessible. So we do have stairs. And so right now they would just have to, I think the only thing is they would have to be able to come up and down the stairs to enter the building. But like I said, we are in the process of changing up the space to make it more accessible. So in the future, hopefully soon, we'd be able to accommodate everybody.
And in terms of funding, are your programs that you offer, are they funded by the participants?
So they're on the Passport program. It's funded by the Passport program, and that's where most of, if not all of them, how they get their funding.
Okay. So as long as they're eligible really to receive the Passport funding, then they would be eligible to attend. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And without using any names, can you share a success story with us?
I love this. I was waiting for this.
What supports were put in place when someone asked for help?
So we have a member who started with us less than a year ago, and he's one of the members that are nonverbal. And when he came in, he does have a one-to-one support that comes in with him as well. And so he right now, he's still communicating with tablet. When he started with us, he was still learning how to communicate with a tablet. However, there was one day when we all went over to the library across the street, and I guess he was just over the day, but that's when he decided that he was going to let us know, and he didn't use his tablet. He was speaking. He came out and said, "I'm going home. I want to go home. We're going home." And when I say we stopped in our tracks and we were just like, "What did he just say?" And then we said, "You want to go home?" We were trying to prompt him again, and he kept saying it. And he got up. His worker was just like, I was like, I asked, has he spoken at home? Has he done this at home? And he said no. He said he's never done this. I'm like, does his mom know? He was like, no. So I jumped on the phone with her immediately, and I was like, do you know your son can speak? And she's like, what are you talking about? And so I recorded it because I didn't think she'd believe me. And so I sent her, and she was just over the moon. She's like, oh my gosh, that's why I love this program. And again, it just has to do with, we're not miracle workers by any means, but it's just the atmosphere. Again, it's just being able to socialize with other people. It's almost like when you send your child off to daycare for the first time, they advance a lot faster than if they were to just stay at home, especially if they have no other siblings to kind of help them out.
Of
And so
course.
just being in that atmosphere and being able to socialize and that sort of thing, he's growing. And we have other members as well, same thing, where they're speaking a lot more. And they're brilliant. They're just brilliant people.
And has he spoken ever since?
Yeah, he has. He's still continuing to do that, to speak words here and there. The sentence, the I would say the most complete sentence that he did speak was that time. But ever since, yes, he's been building his vocabulary very slowly, but he's doing it. And even a small success is a huge one for us. So
That truly makes me smile. That's amazing. Absolutely. I have no words for that, but that's amazing.
yeah,
It's beyond amazing. Wow.
yeah, superstars. We're surrounded by
Oh,
superstars.
definitely. Yeah. And especially, having someone who has practically never spoken
Hmm. Yeah,
and to speak that phrase um as a way of advocating for themselves.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That is nothing short of a miracle, I will say. What's the one thing you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be happening, and how do we stop it?
It's just the mindset. It's the general mindset. Again, people putting barriers on them and assuming that they can't do anything. I actually had a meeting with my staff a couple days ago during one of our huddles, and they were honest. They said, "Listen, before I started here, I was one of those people. We just assume that they can't do simple things like even hanging up their coats or tying their shoes, or but then when they actually start working with them, they realize just how brilliant they are. They are so intelligent, and most of the time they're smarter than we are. They teach us things. Um, and so I would say that, let's just not assume that because they have a special need that they're limited, that their abilities are limited. Again, we should not focus on their disability but enhance their abilities and just treat them and speak to them like regular people. We have so many members where if you come in, they love socializing, and when you speak to them, a lot of times you wouldn't even really know. You know what I mean? I mean, you would be able to tell that there is a special need there, but generally speaking, they carry on conversations and they love it. You can see how much their face brightens up when people give them that time, that attention, that time of day, and not treat them as though they can't even carry on a normal conversation.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's a very good point you raised, and especially when you are, dealing a lot with individuals who have multiple disabilities.
that's right.
There's a whole host of things that can be affecting, let's say, their behavior. It could be medications, it could be,
Right.
just, but I think a larger part is the overall environment.
That's right. That's right.
Because even with a reaction to medications, you can get help with that. You can get counseling for that. You can do therapy.
Hmm.
But you can't exactly do therapy to deal with people putting you down.
It's true. And unfortunately, a lot of the families as well, and they don't mean any harm.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
but a
yeah.
lot of the families as well, they they kind of, I don't want to say they give up on them, but they just kind of coast. They just but I feel like their mentality is just, you know what, it is what it is, and this is just what our life is going to be. But that's not true at all. And I've learned that in the year and a half that I've been here. I've sat with a lot of the members and have worked with them one on one, and they're going home doing things that they had never done before, and even their families didn't know they can do, because they just, at this point in time, they're just like I said, they're just like, you know what, this is my loved one, this is the situation, and we're just going to deal with it the best we can, not realizing that there's so much more that they can pull out of them if they would just take the time to do it, just spend time with them.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more, honestly. It's I've seen this a lot. I've seen this happen a lot in my own line of work, in my
Mhm.
volunteer work, and it really makes me sad
Yeah.
when these um, people with multiple disabilities specifically, when they get isolated to the point that it almost becomes as if they're just tolerated.
Yeah.
Their
Exactly.
existence is just tolerated rather than them being given a chance to prove
Yeah.
themselves, or should I say, improve their own potential.
Right. Right.
But yeah, for sure. Are there any events coming up for the Wellspring Center?
Major events, not so much, maybe more in the new year, but we do have our annual Christmas party coming up soon, so they're looking forward to that. What else? And just some trips and things like that. But nothing, because the year is kind of wrapping up. Nothing major right now, but more so into the new year, I would say.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
I'm curious, is the Christmas party
Mhm.
open to the public?
And you're normally not. um, but you know what? We say the more the merrier. Why not? Why not?
Okay, fantastic. That's great. If someone wanted to become a member or volunteer with the Wellspring Center, what is the process for joining as a member or a volunteer?
Oh, absolutely. So, you can head over to our website. You can also email us at info@thespring.ca. And from there, one of our staff will contact you and set up an intake where you would come in with their, the person they're caring for. And we would do a walkthrough. We would go through just whatever questions they have about the program and things like that. And then, excuse me, we would go through the breakdown and then pick our days and take it from there.
Okay. Wow, that sounds really easy.
It's really easy.
What would you say is the one thing that everyone needs to know about the Wellspring Center?
Hmm, that's a good question. Um, I think I would say that we're set apart. I'm not saying there aren't other amazing day programs out there, but I would say the difference that I've heard with even the students, the co op students, and the volunteers, and the other staff that come and work with us for some time is that, again, when you walk in, it's the atmosphere. There's just something that draws you in to our center. Whether it's the members are hilarious. They make us laugh. They're willing to. They want to learn so much, and they just want to be. They just want to be right. They just want to be a part of everything and everyone. They just There's just a big sense of community at the Wellspring Center. Um, I would say that's I would say that's something that's the biggest thing that sets us apart that people should know. When you walk in, there's just a warm, fuzzy feeling that you get, and you kind of just don't want to leave.
I could see that. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
4 p.m. rolls around and everyone is supposed to be packing up, but
And they're not.
there's still
They're not.
4:30, 5 p.m. and everyone is still just engrossed in what they're doing.
It's true. Even when we have our parties, our gatherings with the parents,
Oh,
all the families coming together. Yeah. And I think it's beautiful because it's so diverse as well. We have so many different peoples from different walks of life and cultures and that kind of thing. And that's something that we also focus on as well. Like we teach each other about our cultures. There was one barbecue. We have an annual barbecue every year just to kind of like, close out the summer and that kind of thing. And yes, that is open to the public, but our families come together. And there was one year we actually did like an international type of barbecue where we set up different tables, and we had each table had a different flag. Each family represented a different country, and they had they would bring like jewelry and henna, or if you're from the Caribbean, there was costumes from like carnival, and foods, and just all these different things, and still like music. And it was just we just come together. Everybody just comes together as we're one, and we don't see in that moment, as much as we're celebrating the diversity, sorry. We don't see each other in that way. We just become one, and it's incredible.
That sounds truly incredible. And geographically, what communities does the Wellspring Center serve?
So right now we're located in the Guildwood in Scarborough. But just so long, I would say, is you can access it through Wheel-Trans, because we do a lot of our members, if not most of them, come through Wheel-Trans. We take anybody. We have a lot of members who even come from Etobicoke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just love us that much.
if I'm if I'm ever in the area, I will definitely pop by and say hello.
Oh, please do. Bring your crew, and we'll make sure it's a Friday and we're cooking. We can sit down and have a meal.
Oh, that sounds even better. I love Fridays. If listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, so just you can head over to the website, www.thespring.ca. Follow us on social media. We're at the Wellspring on Instagram and Facebook, and you can always shoot us an email as well at info@thespring.ca.
Wow, amazing. And I just love chatting with you. And if you don't mind, I would be very happy and grateful if you could indulge us with another success story.
Yes, I would love to. I got to pick one. There's so many.
Or two.
Yeah. Okay. This one is actually this one involves some of our co-op students, our staff. So I like it's like I love to teach and I love to lead. And so a lot of times we have our huddles in the morning, and in the afternoon we kind of run them through the day, or in the afternoon we kind of debrief. So there's one particular member who when he waves, he was waving backwards. So imagine putting your hand up in the air and you're seeing not the palm of your hand, but the other side of your hand, and he's waving that way. So his palm is facing him. And so, my mentality is, okay, just teach him how to do it properly. Teach him how to do it properly. Turn his hand. But at first he wasn't grasping it. So some time went by, and during one of our meetings in the morning, they said, you know, he's doing it, he's waving properly, but we figured out why. And I was like, okay, enlighten me. And they said it was because when you wave at somebody, right? Imagine you waving at somebody, what are they seeing? They're seeing the palm of your hand. So he was doing it based on what he's seeing other people do when they're waving at him, which is why he was doing it backwards. So what they did was they started doing it his way. And then naturally, when he would wave, he would flip his hand forward. And now he's waving correctly, if you will. So now his hand is.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
isn't that like? I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Like
I
that
would never have thought of that.
Yeah,
in a
and
million years.
Exactly. And this is what I mean. They take the time to kind of learn them and figure things out. And then, you have these results, and we're just like mind blown, and it's such a celebration. And now we don't even have to do it his way anymore. He just waves properly, which is even better. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
Those are the best aha moments that anyone can have.
Yeah. Yeah. And so even though we pride ourselves in the way that we interact with our members, and we teach them and we grow with them, because like I said, they teach us as well. I would like to say that we take a lot of pride in how we train our staff, or even our co-op students. Yeah. And that's a result of that. Like, that's proof. That's living proof. So
what is involved really in the training, especially for the staff?
So it's not. So I'll even just quote one of these the students the other day. He said, this is not an authoritarian type of atmosphere. He appreciates the fact that what we do is we involve them, right? So yes, we're teaching and we're leading them and we're training them, but we involve them. So we want to hear their feedback. We want to hear what they have to say. They're the ones who are leading the meetings a lot of times in the morning and afternoon when we're debriefing. They're the ones who are teaching the different phases that I mentioned in the beginning. They're in the rooms with them, working with them closely, and not just building relationships with them, but studying them. They take notes, and they're just like, okay, let me figure this out. They view them as though they're not a challenge in a bad way, but something. Imagine having something in front of you that you're trying to figure out. You got to turn it, you got to flip it, you got to open it up sometimes and just
Sounds
kind of
like a Rubik
analyze it.
cube.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing when I'm
A
describing it
Rubik cube.
exactly, right? But then, just like a Rubik's cube, as soon as you solve it and you figure it out, you're like, oh my God, like you just feel so, like everybody knows that feeling. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what our training is centered around, just teaching them how to like work. It's one thing to go to school and read books and be taught theory, but it's another experience to actually do it hands on and work with them one on one. You know what I mean? And I think for me, personally, that's how I learned every single member that we have. And now I'm able to navigate them through their moods and, through their behaviors and their ups and their downs. It's easier to navigate them once you know them. And so it's like, I guess what I'm saying is it's one thing to know about them, but it's a different experience to know them, and that's what we want them to know them. So our staff, even once a month at the end of every month, I get them together once all the members go home, and we have a little potluck. We're all from different cultures, so we bring something from our culture. We eat together, and then we get up and I teach workshops. So whether it's leadership, communication, team building, even confidence, I tell every single student that walks through or has an interview with me, I say, listen. It's one thing for you. I don't want you to just come in here and get your hours. I want you to not just grow. I want you to come in here and grow, but not just professionally, but as a person. I want you to grow. I want you to sit in an interview next time for your next job, or work at your next job. And I want them to look at you and be like, oh my gosh, who are you? Like, where did you come from? Where did you train? Like, who are you? Why? I want them to be the best. I don't want them to be just employees. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I want them to strive for higher. I want them to be, directors or supervisors and managers. And I want them to be able to contribute to the next place that they end up working at.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
And I wish there were more organizations out there which offered that kind of culture, that kind of feedback, that kind of involvement from, let's say, trainees
Mm-hmm.
who who at the end of the day don't feel like they were just being taught, but
Right.
that they were being included.
That's
They
right.
were integrated, not isolated,
Mhm.
and that they helped to shape an impact, to make an impact
Right,
overall.
exactly, exactly, and just like the last success story that I shared, that's an example of that. That's proof that they have I told them they are making a huge impact. They really are.
They truly are. Thank you. Well, Kelly, we are out of time. This concludes another Community Partners interview. I'm your host, Nafisah Anif. Let's care, let's share, because we've all been there. Thank you so much, my friends. Signing off until next time.